Hello everyone. I want to go into TickTick and show you how to use TickTick, and I want to show you the differences between some features, because it seems like whenever TickTick takes out or comes up with new features, some people get confused. So I want to clear that up because TickTick is my favorite productivity app. So here we go. I made a test list. So here is a list. And a list is where you put all your tasks. So to add a list, you would just go down here and add list, and then you would add a color to it. You can also do this. So if you test list, there we go. If you edit and then go to the very front, you can actually put in an emoji. Let's there we go, and save. And now instead of those 3 lines, an emoji is right there. So you can see for store, I put a grocery cart. For DMC, because that's my work, it's a briefcase. And I have a folder for home, but if you open that up, personal is a house, routines are a routine circle, and chores are a broomstick. So just to give you an idea of what you can do. Some people don't know the emoji thing, so I think that's pretty cool, because then you can easily identify lists and it just looks a lot better. I wanted to start from scratch here, just so that there's no complications, no confusion. So, oh yeah, that's another new thing. It used to be that you couldn't, that you always had these 3 panels, but now if you click the lines at the top left, you can collapse to left, so now you just have 2 panels, so then everything is nice and neat. So to add a task, you would just click up here and say, water the plants, whatever. And if you don't want to do anything to that task, you would just press enter, and there you go, water the plants. You can also add emojis to these too if you really wanted to, do something like that. It doesn't really show up very good in the Windows app for some reason. I think with cell phones, the emojis really pop up. So this is just a plain task if you just wanted to check this off. However, there are other things that you can do with this. So say you wanted to water the plants, and you click the due date up here. So this is after the fact. So if you decide, okay, I want to do something with this task later on, you would go to this third panel, or this panel. You click the due date, say you want to do it on Sundays, and then you can set the time to whatever you want here. Say like 8:30 a.m. You can also set it repeat of daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, also a custom. So you can put, you can tap any day of the week here, and you can do every 1 day, every 1 week, every 1 month. That's as good as you're gonna get it. Save. And there's also a duration up here, but we will get to that in a minute. Press OK, and there you go. So that's if you wanted to date something, but say you want to go deeper. Okay, water the plants. But what if you also had other tasks to do? Okay, let's go into something like work, right? A very common thing that people do at work is they call people. So let's say you're at work and you have a list of people that you want to call. So you can say, call these people. Now you might say, you wanted to call Janet, but you also had other people to call, right? So instead of names, we're going to go with people. Press enter. And then over here in the description, so if you click these 3 lines up at the right, top right, click that, bam. So this is called a checklist. And you can also still have a description. So let's say you wanted to call Janet, Julia, David, Daniel, right. So a checklist is just to check off certain things that have to do with the task. I'm doing call people because that's a very common thing. So say you wanted to call like these people and you check them off as you go. So okay, I already called Janet, I already called Julia, all I have to do is David and Daniel next. You can also remind yourself with each person with the checklist, which I think that's pretty cool. So a checklist is just a very simple check off as you go kind of thing. Very simple. A task list is basically just checking things off, like a call list or like a planning for a trip, how many things that you have in your backpack kind of thing. But let's say that you have a bigger kind of task, right? So I showed you how to do checklists. So what if you want something more consistent, right? So if we have something that we do every single day, right? You might want to put that in subtasks. So let's say you want to start your day. Okay, and go down here to the bottom 3 dots and add subtask. So let's say as soon as you go to work every day, you clock in. You clock in, and then you email people, and you have a list of people to. Let's clock in, email. Okay, call, and then get ready for me. Let's say that all these things happen within the first hour of your work, right? So the cool thing about this is within each of these subtasks, they act. That's the word. They act as separate tasks that you can do anything with. So let's go into email. So this is a subtask of start my day email. So then you can go up here to check items, and you can say, email David about the status of the project. Email Trevor about rescheduling appointment. Right? And then you check these off as you go. Call, we already went over that. And then get ready for meeting, and this can be a description of, meeting notes. This is what we need to go over. X, Y, Z kind of thing. So let's say that you have these things every day. So when you check this off, these subtasks will still be in here, whether you did them or not. Which I think is pretty cool. So what's the difference between a checklist and subtasks? A checklist is just to check certain little things off. You can't really do anything with these, right? You can set reminders and you can delete them. That's it. Subtasks are reoccurring within the main task. So say that start my day you do every weekday. These subtasks will stay in here. Now you can also delete them as you go and put something new in. But essentially these can stay. And they act as separate tasks. So if you need to go deeper into a subtask, you can. So like we did with email, like we did with, or what we would have done with call, like we did with get ready for the meeting. These are just to help you go more in depth with certain tasks that you want more information on. You need to remind yourself more of something, or even just to keep notes, right? So a checklist is very simple. Check things off. Subtasks are things to help you stay focused with the main task and help you break it down into smaller chunks and to give you more information on these separate tasks. That way you don't have to put in a bunch of description. You don't have to remember everything that you need to do to start your day. You can give yourself little chunks of information within each task. So that's the difference between a subtask and a checklist. Another thing is sections. So TickTick just added sections. And if you come from Todoist, you probably already know what sections are. But some people are confused on what's the difference between a section and a folder, right? So here's what I did. I had two lists for buying stuff. I had a grocery list and I had a wish list, which is basically what the things that I buy online, right? So and once sections came in, once sections was available, I deleted one of those lists, the wish list, and then I went into the grocery list, renamed it store, and then I sectioned it to the different stores that I go to, and then I added an online section. For me, this was a way to clean up my lists and to easily decipher like certain things. I still tag them as the store that I go to, just because it's easier for me to see. But still, I think sections are great to section off certain things on your list. That way it's not very cluttered. I know for me with main tasks or the today tasks, I like to sort them by time, but some people may not like that. Some people might have so much on their plate that even, trying to figure out which time is mind-boggling to them. So sections can be a good way of really focusing on what you want to focus on. So, like when I go to the store, I want to focus on Vons when I'm at Vons. I want to focus on Trader Joe's when I'm at Trader Joe's. If I have other things to do, then I'll focus on the online section. So, that's what sections are, and that's what they're for. So, what's the difference between sections and folders? Well, folders hold different lists. And sections don't hold separate lists. They just organize the list that you have into the sections that you create. So, you can have both. You can have a folder of multiple lists and section off each list. But at the same time, you don't have to do that now that sections are available. Because like I said, I had 2 different lists for buying things, and now I only have one main list that's sectioned off. So that's how I use sections. That's how I cleaned up my lists. So, let's go back to the test list, right? Oh, by the way, if you sort this, the TickTick calls this a smart list for some reason. But say you sorted it by title, or no one does that, but by priority, by date, whatever. You go back here, add sections is gone. And I thought for like several days that I didn't even have sections because it wouldn't show up, and I didn't understand why. But that's because I had it so that it was by date or something in here. It was sorted. So you're not going to see sections if your list is sorted in any way. So you have to go to custom. And this means that now it's not sorted by anything. You go back here, sections is back. So let's say you are a video creator. So let's say you put in, let's say this is your record list, or let's do podcasts, since I used to do podcasts. So one could be the creation process, or I guess everything is a creation process, and then add section of recording, and then add section of publishing. Right? So creation process could be creating a script. No, actually, the very first thing on the creation process is create ideas. And then make script. And then create a list of ideas, make script, recording, put practice, script, record in Audacity, whatever. So, creation process, recording, publishing, publish, podcast, publish, social media. So, creation process, recording, publishing. So, this would be like if you had a podcast, if you had a YouTube channel. This would be another thing of how you would create sections. So okay, I'm focusing on this, I'm focusing on that, I'm focusing on that. So that there's no certain times that you have to do something. There's certain sections that you have to do something. That's another thing that you can do with sections. Like I said, a folder is just holding separate lists. That's all a folder does. So you wouldn't really section it off unless you wanted separate lists for each of these sections, which to me sounds pretty cluttery. So that's why TickTick added sections, I guess, so that your list can be nice and neat, and you don't have to have different lists for everything that you want to do. Yeah, so let's go back to let's go back to call people. So I want to show you other things. So call people, let's uncheck these. Say you wanted to call people, and then if you do a hashtag, that brings up tags. So I already have certain tags. So you go in and you say call. So now you know that this is tagged call. And so if you ever do other lists of calling people, you can now just click the call tag. Once you tag it, call, and then you'll see all the tasks where it says call. So you know all the people that you need to call or have called if you press the show completed button, which is what I do to make sure that I called people if it was another day and the task was already checked off. So let's say that this is a high priority. You have priorities, so you can have high, medium, low, or none. At the default, it's set to none. So I'm going to say this is a high priority. And what that'll do is on the left here in the task area, it will turn the tick box red. We already went over due dates. So you can put in a date. You can set a time. So I also want to show you another thing. So let's say that you wanted to do 9 a.m. Over here, there's a duration. So I don't know if you've heard this before, but there is a productivity. There's a productivity skill, productivity hack of time blocking. So what that means is you set up certain blocks of time to do certain tasks. So you can give yourself an hour to do this task. And it's not really gonna show up over here. I'm a premium user. So what that means is that I have access to what is called a calendar. So, let me... test list, okay. So what this is the calendar of things to do. So you can see all the things you need to do in one day. And here you can see the time block. Okay, from 9 to 10 a.m. I have to call people, water the plants. If you don't put a time duration to this, it'll just put in as like 30 minutes or something. But you can drag this however you want to extend or not extend the time. You can switch these around if you want. Let's say things changed, you know. You can also add from here. This is a test, and you can go to the duration, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You know, so I think that's really cool. This part is really cool because then you can see like everything that you need to do at a glance, and you can like color code these. So so view options, so color options, you can color it by tag, you can color it by lists, or you can color it by priorities. I have it set to tags because certain tasks take different tags, so it just makes it more colorful rather than focusing them all on lists, because usually I'm in the same list all day, which is the work list, so it doesn't really do me any good to see them as all the same color. So, yeah, that's how the duration works. It's how the calendar works. You can, if you have a Google Calendar, for instance, shut up. If you have a Google Calendar, for instance, you can subscribe to TickTick, and your calendar days will show up. Your Google Calendar days will show up in this calendar, which I think is pretty cool. But if it's in here, you can't edit it from here. You have to edit it to your actual Google Calendar. So, but yeah, let's see. So, another thing that TickTick does is habit tracking. So I have a habit called walk. I have not walked because it's been hot. But a habit tracker is basically, it's different from tasks a little bit, because instead of it being a to-do item, even a routine to-do item, you can make certain things a habit, and it will track how much you do that habit. For example, you see that I've walked one day. But if I did it more, it would say more days. And it has like a whole like system. So if I go in here, and so yeah, you have total check-ins, bet streak, current streak, and if you go, you might not be able to do it on the Windows app then, but there's a way to see your statistics on your habits. But I guess you can't do it here. Where? Oh yeah. So in the Windows thing, I don't know why. So if you wanted to focus on a task or see how much time a task takes, you would go to the focus timer. I'm just gonna put it here. There's different options here where you can have a daily focus goal, a focus duration goal, promo duration, short break duration. So you can edit all of these. Auto start of the next timer if you want. Auto start of the next break if you want. I don't check these off because I think that's weird to do. Because, well, not weird, but like if it goes automatically, I might forget, especially if it's in the background. So there's a promo focus and a stopwatch. There's also other things. So this is to focus. So like white noise kind of thing. If you focus better with noise. So promo timer, 25 minutes and 5-minute breaks. So you would focus on a certain task and then you would press start and then it counts down from 25 minutes. So you have 25 minutes to focus on a task. Once that's done, you can have a 5-minute break, 20-minute timer, so on. A lot of people, including myself, don't always take the 5-minute breaks. Sometimes we go straight into the next timer because 25 minutes isn't really that long, so you don't need a 5-minute break in between. Some people might need that, but a lot of people don't. But you can also like edit it to how you wish, however long that you want to focus. So if you wanted to, like, say 25 minutes isn't that long and you still want breaks in between and you don't really want to, if you don't really want to skip breaks, you can go in here and edit from 25 minutes to like 40 minutes. So if you do the timer again, it's now 40 minutes instead of 25. So you can press start and focus for like 40 minutes. So again, you can do this for however long that you want, or however little that you want. I think I'm gonna put this to 30. Central shift P. Okay. So Central Shift P can bring it back here. So that's good to know. Mini mode. Ooh. There's a mini mode, normal mode, full screen mode. Oh. Yeah. So white noise with the focus. Stopwatch. So this just like counts up instead of down. So what people would use this for is to know how much a certain time, how long a task takes. So that way you can accurately time block if you wanted to time block. Or so that okay, this task takes me this long, so I need to get ready this long for this task. If that makes sense. So you can time, like, say you're always late for work or something, you can use this to be like, okay, how much time does it take for me to take a shower? How much time does it take for me to get dressed? how much time does it take to like wash my face or something. And then you would see, okay, these tasks take this much time, so I'm gonna have to get ready for this much time. And that's just a more realistic way of how to manage your time. So that's pretty cool. Exit. But yeah, that's all I have about TickTick, I think. So thank you guys for listening.